Welcome to Let Me Ask You a Question, Episode 1. I'm your host, Mike D, and I'm here with my co-host,
Dave.
Quest.
This podcast is going to deal with community, having fun. We're going to talk about government issues, education, anything that probably makes us mad, or I don't know, just all interesting topics, whatever we can come up with. Alright, the goal of this is to probably help out these schools and these communities here around us. Every month, once we get set up, we're going to try to donate some money to a school here in Baltimore City. We're going to have more information on later episodes about that. Alright, but let's get down to brass tacks. Today's episode, we're going to talk about something a little interesting. Alright. Believe it or not, a lot of jobs nowadays are getting automated. As a matter of fact, I ran across an article which says by 2025, that a third of all jobs in America are going to be automated. This made me go and look up some research on a video called Humans Need Not Apply by CGP Grey. That's how you say his name, right? That really goes into depth on how the machines are actually taking over some jobs and things like that. What do you guys think on it?
Well, to piggyback on what you said about by 2025, one-third will be gone, actually, it's been reported that by 2033, 47% of jobs in the United States will be automated. So, what is it now, 2016?
Yeah.
So we're talking about a good 17 years from now, almost half of the jobs in this country will be automated. Actually, if you want to dig a little deeper, the chairman, Terry Gao, I believe that's how you say his name, who is a Foxconn chairman, who is a manufacturer for Apple, has been quoted as saying, "As human beings are also animals, to manage 1 million animals gives me a headache."
That's funny.
I mean, it's terrible to hear somebody say this, but when you look at it, humans are animals, but that's another topic. But imagine managing that many people when with one button, I can manage 1 million machines to do the same job I need a human to do, and I don't have to pay you insurance, I don't have to worry about lunch breaks, I don't have to worry about you being late, don't have to worry about I got sick, my kids got sick. So in hindsight, in many industries, automated will be taken over because the goal of any company is to make profit. Let's be real, we live in a capitalistic society, which is the goal is to make money. So if cheaper labor means machines, we will do it. I mean, we have outsourced jobs to other countries due to cheaper labor. So to take this into account, I know a lot of people are probably afraid of, well, my job's not in danger, this and that may happen, but everybody's job and many different industries are at stake. Let somebody else comment?
I think 47% is a pretty high number. I think you're always, there a lot of jobs can be automated, but I think that there's still going to be quite a few jobs that are going to need people to do. I mean, when you have these automated machines, you're going to have to train new employees to learn how to fix them, because when these automated machines go up, and they will have many problems to start, you're going to have trained individuals that can work on them. So I think as the jobs go down, I think they'll also create some new jobs as well within that group.
Well, you see, the thing about it is, nowadays, they are programming the machines to be able to fix themselves, slowly but surely. A lot of people say there's a...
I don't see them fixing themselves. Not right away.
No, well, not right away. I wouldn't say like right off the bat, but just think about it this way. Well, I'll give you an example. The machine Watson, right now, they have basically got this computer to think like people.
That's the one that did the Jeopardy, correct?
Yeah, that's the one that did Jeopardy, and that murdered people in Jeopardy. Won $1 million for a charity. It was like impressive to watch this computer operate.
But that's just regurgitating information.
Well, it doesn't.
Well, they took Watson actually they took it a step further. As far as how we're having this conversation right now, Watson has learned to actually understand words verbatim. Example would be, this bowl is red. Now, bowl has many meanings in the English language. So, but Watson is capable of understanding what do you mean by the word bowl in the context of the sentence.
And not an
or here's a better example. Is an example that that you can look up on YouTube. Watson has a small video that it'll tell you how it works. But you know how with the English language, we can use many different words. So we can say it's raining cats and dogs outside. Mm-hmm. All right. A normal computer will say, "Oh, it's raining actual cats and dogs outside." It's raining
animals.
Yeah. But no, Watson has now able to break it down just to mean that it's just raining heavy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of words are being used. Unlike a lot of things unlike a lot of computers who need data straight up, Watson can gain information by just reading blogs or just basically unstructured data. That's what they call it. Most information that we use nowadays is unstructured data. So to me that's very impressive. And then it can learn as it goes along.
200 million pages of unstructured data is a lot.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Watson is very, very impressive.
Well,
and then we also have Baxter, which is a...
Yeah, I don't know about Baxter.
It's a self-learning robot, basically. It's a robot they built that, to an extent, has learned to mimic.
Well, supposedly he can see. He has like a screen on his head.
Right.
He can see and replicate what you're doing.
Yeah, basically, and
I just don't see people waiting in line to get their Baxter.
People wait in line to get Skywalkers, man. They're not even real hoverboards.
I can point to your company right now, Foxconn. World's largest manufacturing manufactures 10,000 robots called Foxbots. They've ordered Baxters, a lot of them. Let me see here where my numbers are saying here. Baxters actually only cost $20,000 per bot a year, so that's way cheaper than.
But it takes like 10 times longer for them to produce the same amount of. I mean, if you want to wait a couple years longer to get your products, that's fine.
Yeah, but we're looking at a cost efficiency. I mean, really, if you really look at it, a Baxter is only a tenth of a cost of what we do for humans. Baxters don't get tired. Baxters don't ask for days off. Baxters are cheap. All you have to do is pay the electricity bill and your Baxter's running.
20 grand, 25 grand isn't cheap to me, but I guess in the long run, when you compare it to the average salary of someone,
yeah,
it is a good deal, but then again, you're still running into the fact that production is going to slow down dramatically.
And no, not that much. It's just a matter of quantity.
You'd have to get more Baxters in order.
And then Baxters only...
You'd have to have like 10 Baxters for one employee.
And remember...
Technology is always advancing steadily, so...
Yeah, we cannot...
It'll get better. I mean, in time, everything gets better.
Yeah.
So in time, they'll be able to...
Yeah, and we're not talking about a long time either. We double our computer speed every 3 to 2 years.
Yeah, they actually, right now, have the computer speeds for consumer products done. I mean, they're set for the next decade. Like, the products that you get now are, the laptop that we have here on the table is technology that was probably come to fruition about 7-8 years ago.
Right.
And they take their time putting it out on the market because it gets a continuous stream of revenue, the slower they bring it out.
Yeah. No different than when you go out and buy the new iPhone, the new Galaxy.
Yeah, they got the iPhone 10 already ready.
Right, it's
They're
already
just-
ready.
yeah.
It's just we're gonna slowly bleed you
Oh,
as much
yeah,
as we can.
definitely. They want to get you for $500 every year.
Yeah.
But that's where it comes. That's where becoming a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsible or smart consumer comes in. But back to the machines things now. Yes, there are. I agree. There are some jobs, some that won't be affected. Not yet. Not well. Hold on.
I'm just saying.
I
No,
say
hold on. I'm just saying,
no.
hold on.
There are going to be jobs.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there won't be.
I'm saying
Like even
This is where Mike thinks there'll be that people are going to want to go see a robot doctor, and no way. People are going to want to have that human interaction when they have a problem. They want to see that empathy, and that people are comforted by that.
See, you don't understand that already they have robot nurses, and already they have
A robot nurse is a lot different than a robot doctor.
actually,
wait, let me get this out.
I've been talking for a long time.
You know what? Whatever. No, but let me get this out. See, we look at it from a perspective that we have humans. We're not used to talking to robots, but you're not thinking about the next generation who adapts to it, and then even we adapt to it. Let's look at our cell phones for instance. There was a time where you just go home and you get your phone calls there. You can wait there. Now we have cell phones, and it seems like no one can live without it. Mm-hmm. It's such an integrated part into it. These robot doctors can be the same thing. Not to mention, if you talk to Watson, Watson does not sound like your average robot. He sounds like a person talking.
I just don't think people are going to be in an office and see like something that's clearly not human. Like maybe if they get to the point where AI and they can get to something that looks human.
You're talking about the Android robots.
Something that looks human enough to but I still don't. I just don't see people.
They have it already.
I don't see them being comfortable with it.
Okay. Far as the medical field goes, you have doctors right now using robots, machines to perform surgery.
Oh, yeah, I worked at Hopkins and we had the Da Vinci robot in the operating rooms, which handled a lot of the surgical procedures that were done in the ORs where I worked. But you still had to have a surgeon in the room at all times.
I agree. Well, I would say this. When it comes to machines and jobs, it's not going to be about so much as are you a people. It's about numbers, and the main goal is going to be the machine doesn't have to be as fast or as adaptable or nice as you. All the machine has to do is be able to not make the mistakes you would make.
But I even see the thing is and in the video they're saying that these medical robots can lower the risk of malpractice or problems that errors that doctors make. But I at least not in the near future. I don't see that outweighing the individuals.
Well, I would say this: the machines will change because with robots you have no.
I'm sure it'll change.
It has no biases, and that will play a major factor in any type of employment.
I think you guys are thinking about this in the simple fact that you used to seeing a robot going, and I am a robot.
No, not that.
and this is how I
do you want bigger boobs?
Yeah.
No. I mean, take your phone. Take Siri for example, or Cortana. Those things can actually interact with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those cell phone apps are a lower form of artificial intelligence that if you ask it a question, it can give you an intelligent answer back. So the fact that your cell phone is a small scale artificial intelligence shows that we have the capacity to expound it further.
Well, I'm trying to think of the name of the company, but they have already started automating. Everybody knows they started automating your phone. You don't talk to a real person on the phone at the time. They've gotten to the point now where they did this experiment where they had a robot imitate a 12-year-old kid, and no one could tell the difference. Mm-hmm. So if you can get it to emulate emotions that well that you can't tell the difference between a robot and a 12-year-old kid, it's not that far-fetched for them to be able to put that into a doctor robot. Not to mention that, believe it or not, people are already comfortable with the idea of talking to a robot. Matter of fact, people are comfortable with the idea of talking, period. I know
For certain tasks, for certain bits of information, we haven't gotten to the point where we've tested people's, affinity for
well,
discussing more complex situations and problems with what movies are playing at the nearest theater, and your cell phone tells you. That's it's a far cry from what's my best option with my my newfound cancer. Can you give me your advice?
Watson has done that now. Watson, matter of fact, is actually working on that now. He actually gets on and is considered to be part of a panel of experts that can do cancer care. Right now, Watson is like amazing. Like when I'm telling you, like
machines are smarter than humans. Just to sum it up, machines are smarter.
Yeah, nobody.
No.
When it comes to information,
hear me out.
When it comes to storing and like I said, regurgitating information, yeah, of course. At this point,
now I'm not saying every machine is smart as making choices, but just hear me out.
I'm listening.
Alright, let's take Fox for example. The fact that Watson has the capability of having access to millions of streams of information at once, and is able to decide and make calculated 100 million. I stand corrected. To make decisions and calculate the information and the evidence against each piece of information and make a calculated decision with no bias is to some extent more intelligent than a human. Because again, with any human beings, we always have our biases. We always make choices based off our biases, whether we acknowledge it or not. But we always have to go back and correct ourselves. The fact that you have an entity that can look through 100 million streams of information, more than we could ever process in one lifetime, calculate all of that.
Not lifetime.
In a single lifetime, we will never be able to acquire all the information that a computer can.
I mean, okay, but not 100 strands of information, because clearly we go through more than 100 strands of communication.
No, let me give you an example.
Well, there's different. I think when you look at the emotional spectrum and things like that, of course, humans are going to be able to, keep up. But I think that when it just comes to, statistics and factual data.
See, the thing about it is that I think everyone looks at emotion differently, and really at the core of it, emotion is just nothing but chemical processes that go on in your brain. Okay, and it's a very something does something, then you get a certain reaction. So you're only going to have a certain amount of reactions to whatever stimuli happens to you. So it's easy to kind of predict and kind of ease in emotion and ease in the right response in it. It's really all a matter of timing and getting down, okay, when to put this word, when to show, seem like I need to show empathy here. Or when I need to...
Until we have a bunch of schizophrenics trying to talk to robots. They may not get it right.
But then that'll be something interesting once we get there. But still, it's only a limited amount of things that we can respond to, at any one given time. Like I said, Watson is probably one of the top of the line. Want me to tell you what will really kind of impact the job market? These self-driving cars.
Oh, the autos. Yeah, the autos. Now that I can totally see. Happening. I have no problem with it. And I think it's going to happen sooner than later.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just so you give, in the video, Humans Need Not Apply, he goes over briefly some things with cars. Let me just put it to you this way: don't just think of cars as the vroom, I'm driving, beep beep type experience.
Okay, now we got to something interesting. So, my cousin showed me this video on YouTube with Mercedes, and Mercedes actually has a very nice self-driving car. But now I don't know how many you watch sci-fi movies, but you've seen things like Minority Report and stuff like that. You see how slick looking these cars are, and how you can just sit in the back with 3 other people and just ride. That's how the new Mercedes looks. Exactly like something off of Minority Report. That's how the exact new Mercedes looks. Moving, another example would be the new Tesla. Now, the Tesla, and it was a regular average Joe guy, he took the Tesla on the road and let it drive him miles. The car knew when to stop at stop signs, when to slow down at turns, when there was a cars in front of him to slow down, when he knew the ground, when it started raining, the car knew to slow down and turn on the windshield wipers.
The only thing I think about when it comes to the autos is, like, are they at the point where if there's a traffic jam, I mean, I'm sure slowing down, knowing the distance between 2 cars is going to be easy for it to compute, but, like, say an accident happens in front of you.
Right.
You have to take a detour or something. How quick are these cars going to be able to update themselves or even know what the correct detour is going to be to go around? Oh, look, this street's closed. It snowed out. What do we do?
They are already.
Your GPS does it. Your GPS, when you drive, already tells you when it's a detour. So it's fair to say the GPS in the car, so it'll know ahead of time. An accident happened here.
Well,
I gotta take a detour.
But if the accident happened right in front of you, like if the accident happened within 5 minutes of you being there, it's not going to know right then and there if you go around. You're going to get.
Actually, it does. It does. It monitors. It simultaneously monitors itself with GPS around it, so it gets traffic ahead of time. And don't forget, nowadays cars can predict accidents before you get into them.
But if the guy in front of me accidentally rear ends the guy in front of him, my car is not going to immediately know to go around within 5 seconds.
It will.
I don't know.
Well, the average.
I don't think it's time.
If all I have to do, if you want an example of a car that's operating on the road that's so totally self-driving, the Google car, it drives itself. You know, they have one person basically in there, you know, for insurance purposes, but when it goes around taking pictures of your neighborhood, that car is driving itself. You know, it doesn't. It has far less accidents. I think I only know of one incident the Google car has been in, which basically, you know, was a small glitch, but it was running low on fuel, and it just drove to a gas station and wouldn't let the people out because it was running low on fuel. But other than that, it
again,
it works. It worked on.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Well, just last July, one of Google's self-driving cars was stopped at an intersection. The light was green, but the traffic congestion meant that the Google car and the 2 in front of it could not make it through the intersection without blocking it. But the driver of a 4th car didn't notice the stop traffic, only the green light, and plowed into the back of the Google car at 17 miles an hour without braking.
So was it the car fault or was it the driver's fault? That just sounds like it was the driver's fault.
Well, it was the driver's fault. This was the driver's fault.
See again.
I mean,
it was the fault. Yeah, it was the fault of humans, not the self-driving cars. But I could see that happening the other way around as well.
I don't know. I would say this. Anything is possible, and yes, with all technology, when it first comes out, yes.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to happen.
They're going to have tests.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't think it's going to happen as quick. As they're saying.
Well, here's the thing: the fact that you have self-driving cars on the road now is a clear testament. Now, again, we're in Baltimore City. Everybody income ain't up to the point where we can buy a self-driving car. We also gotta keep that in mind.
When cars came out,
hold on.
It was like 10 years before people got rid of all their horses. It didn't happen.
And look what happened. But look how quickly that horses. And
but if you can see it coming down the pipeline. The 2017 models, they parked themselves.
I know. Before the 2017, you going like a couple years back to cover do that. Now I agree. Now hear me out. Again, when it comes to self-driving cars, just on that topic, it's not that they had to be perfect. They just had to be better than us. That's the bottom line. They had to make less mistakes than a person. That's all that matters. So. Again.
Yeah, with something like cars, it's just statistics. People are going to, if they say they're safer, people will just go out and use them. That's just going to happen.
I mean,
that's just common sense. You know what I mean?
And plus, again, you can always manually take over the car too. They never disclose.
Of course, if you don't like something that's happening,
you can always do that. But the fact that you have the convenience of, I can watch a movie, my car will drive itself.
Yep, let me know I'm at work.
Exactly. You can take a nap. Well, no, I won't say do that. But
That'd be
just the
scary.
idea. Well, with the new Mercedes, they have set up that you kind of can. But
How about yay? No more drunk drivers.
That's true. That's a great point.
No, I ain't gotta worry about my kid going out here getting ran over. Heck, when I send my kid out to drive,
There'll just be a lot of cars with people with the seat back just laying in there.
it will change everything.
These are interesting. But what I was alluding to earlier before we ended up jumping directly back on the cars, is that we're still kind of limited our thoughts with just autos in and of itself. So don't just think of as room driving, but the transportation industry is the largest employment industry in the country, in the world. I mean, everybody needs things moved from point A to point B.
No, transportation will become a luxury. Again,
no, I'm not. Can I finish this?
I'm sorry,
Can I finish?
No, but transportation will also deal with warehouse, moving the stuff from inside of the building from one side of the building to the next. We're not just talking about cars here. We're talking about mining equipment being able to operate itself. We're talking about I always said cars. We're talking about boats. We're talking about planes.
That's an automobile. It still counts as it's an automatic.
Planes, I think it's going to take a little longer. I think customer wariness is still going to be like. I know I wouldn't be comfortable.
I think for the most part,
immediately getting in a completely automated.
Well, we have autopilot
already.
You do, but deep down, there's a guy there.
Right. That's never going to change.
Mm-hmm. There's always going to be a guy to go, I'm looking over the equipment.
Right. Well, in that case, then the planes are pretty much there.
Right.
There's not much more for them to do except land themselves.
Yeah. Autopilot. And I'm pretty sure I think autopilot can probably do that.
Yeah.
So planes are.
I don't think landing's going to be.
You know why the flying car thing hasn't popped off, right? Well, it's because they just have to work on the automation a little bit better.
Maybe the big government's interest in oil, maybe.
Well. No. Here's the thing.
I don't see. I see that's going to be a slow phase.
Yes, oil's gonna take time, but the fact that everybody's going green now. Yes, I know this is machines, but this plays a role.
They are going green, but it hasn't been. I mean, there's been hybrid cars out for a decade, and
but you have fully electric cars now.
Well, but it's still going to be a very slow crawl. Because they're not going to just drop petroleum down. They have too many investors and overseas. There's so many interests in that I think that's if they do phase out of it, it's going to be a slow burn. It's going to be slow.
But just fun fact, Russia, I believe is the only country that I know of that's fully solar powered. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Russia is one of the few countries that's fully solar.
You don't have to fact check that one.
Hey, I mean, go ahead and check. I encourage all the listeners to please.
Fully solar powered, but are they taking advantage of that?
Yes. I mean, the issue is with America, as far as many measures around pool, is solar energy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, well, what about areas that don't get a lot of sunlight? Mind you, solar panel technology is amazing. Mm. Me being who personally helped install solar panels on somebody's roof, it's amazing. And when people say it gets little sunlight, but you have Russia who gets little to none, and their country can run off of solar power is amazing.
Yeah.
It's completely amazing.
Like I said, I just think that this country's interests are based so much in oil and petroleum that that's going to be something that'll happen slow. I mean, it's going to get to the point where I think the government's going to realize that it has to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be like marijuana.
Exactly.
We're going to have to make this legal. It's no point in trying to keep, But it's going to, and that's the reality that a lot of people don't want to face is it's coming. Mm. No matter how you like it or not, no matter how much you try to deny it, that it's coming. It's coming.
It's happening.
And you have two options. Either, like evolution, either you adapt, evolve and survive, or you don't, and you get left to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, a lot of people say that's harsh, but that's the reality of it. You have a chance now to where we can adapt to a technological age. I mean, look at kids, for example. I've seen kids who are 2 and 3 who can work an iPhone better than their parents.
Yeah.
So they, as future generations go on, they're going to be born with this technology.
Those skills. They're going to learn them skills at a very young age. Like my nephew at 4 years old can do a lot more than his parents, with technology, and he's 4. It's just going to get more and more, especially with education. I'm curious to see how things like the teaching, teaching and the education system is going to change with this technology.
Well, you have many schools, especially in Baltimore. Well, in Baltimore County, one of them being where I knew the principal. He brought smart boards to his school, and the students had brand new Mac computers, had iPads. Even in some Baltimore County schools, students have iPads.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people say, "Well, I don't know about this," but I say, look at it this way. At this point in time, textbooks are outdated. They don't update information fast enough. With the internet, if there's information on the internet and it's wrong, it can be instantly redone
and instantly given the correct solution.
Right, at a flick, at a snap of a
finger.
finger.
The days of the calculator are gone.
Well, and it is now. Granted, I still feel as though basic skills of adding, subtraction, addition, multiplication should be taught, and you should know them, not taken out of the way. You should know how to do this. But with technology, as it always has been since the dawn of humanity, is to make life easier. Is to allow us to perform tasks easier. That was always what technology was for, was to make certain tasks easier, to make things more convenient. That was always the purpose of technology. So to say, for people who are saying, well, I don't know about machines doing this, I would say, well, think about it like this. One of the oldest occupations besides prostitution ever in the dawn of history was farming. As of today, only 1% of farming jobs are humans.
Oh yeah, farming's agriculture.
It's completely automated
now.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you have robots who have a say over your food. So the fact that they say, well, I don't want them over my medical or this, they handle your food.
I know. I don't think it's as it's not as in your face as going to the doctors. I think that's something that maybe one of the last things to go. Maybe it'll go, but I think it's going to be one of the last things. Just like going to see a psychiatrist. I'm not going to ever be comfortable laying in a chair and talking to a freaking robot. I mean, whether it can figure things out for me or not, it's just something that I don't think people are going to be comfortable with.
Well, if we conduct an experiment where you're just sitting in the chair, you sit back and you close your eyes, and you just basically spill out your feelings.
But how many people actually do that typical movie? Lay on the long couch, close your eyes, tell me your problems.
But if I put you on a Skype call and you're talking with your therapist over Skype, what's the difference?
Because it's the human interaction.
You just think it's a human interaction. But if I just put an image of a person on there and he's just speaking, there's no difference.
But are you going to just trick people? If they know.
It's not about tricking.
But if they know,
it's the appearance. It's just the perspective.
If I know that my therapist is a robot, but you show me a picture of a person and they're talking like a person, I'm still gonna know my therapist is a robot.
How? How?
Are they gonna lie to people?
It doesn't
necessarily sell people.
It doesn't have to be about you lying to people.
I'm not going to tell you your therapist is a robot.
No, it doesn't have to be that. It can if it talks back to you like a person does. And it comes with the same conclusion
I'm not debating that it's not capable of doing the job. I'm just saying that people will not want to do it. People are not going to want. Maybe these, like you say, kids are getting. As the generations go on, they're getting more familiar with technology. They're getting less and less needed to be, taught by humans, so to speak. Maybe in a few generations, people will be totally comfortable with talking to a robot shrink. But I just know that this generation isn't.
Oh.
Fun fact. Emily Howe. You guys ever heard of her? Emily Howe?
Oh. Well, is that the robot that writes music?
Yep. It was
Piano,
actually
the one that did the music that you heard on the video.
Yep, and nobody can tell the difference. If you want to look at it, check it out as Humans Need Not Apply. It was actually it was a program written by David Cope in the 1990s. Just putting that out there, fun fact. But just taking that as an example of art.
That's art. But
that's still an example that one of the things many people praise as a defining thing in humans.
They praise it, but they don't rely on it for their well-being.
True, we may not rely on it for our well-being, but art has always been a foundation of our as humans. So the fact that you have a computer program who can mimic something that has been the foundation.
So do you guys think that in 100 years there'll be a painting like the Mona Lisa made by a robot? And
completely.
I think it probably already has.
And you think people will like be as in awe of it and be like so?
But the Mona Lisa has been redone. But the fact, just with Emily Howe, you could not tell the difference that a human composed it or a machine composed it.
I know this whole thing though about you can't tell the difference. You may not be able to tell the difference, but you also don't want to have your basis be you can't tell the difference, because that's pretty much saying like, in effect, you're going to not be telling people. Like, are you not going to be telling people that this artist was a robot? Like,
it's not that he didn't tell nobody. What they did with that, they just tested it out to see if people could tell.
The whole thing about it is it's going to be comparable. So, like, just when people are just like, oh, man, a robot can't do this, because we're looking at the state of technology now, and even at the state of technology now, most people don't even realize how far along we are, you know. They're going to be like, oh, no, I'll never have a robot talk to me. But then, if you look around, people talk to their Furbies. Like, seriously.
I've talked to many Furbies.
People talk to their Furbies, and what kind of psychological gain are they getting from it?
It's a fantasy, though. It's like a fantasy world.
Well,
it's for younger.
But it's the same thing, because we have adults who do that to try to find a way to connect. But it's the same thing as the robot therapist is doing. He's just a tool in order for you, because you know what therapy is basically. It's a tool for you to realize what's wrong, for you to realize what's going on in your head.
And if a robot can do it and it works, who am I?
How are you?
I don't know. We'll just I guess time will tell. But what do you guys think about sports? I know this is Do you think that we'll ever see some kind of automation in sports?
Yes, you remember remember that show used to come on called Robot Wars Sunday, where they build a robot, make them fight?
Like the battle bots.
They used to come on TV. No, these were like robots.
Oh, you talking about that show that didn't last that long?
It was ahead of its time.
It was
ahead of its time.
Is that the one where they had the octagon and everybody made their little chomper or whatever that was remote control, and it would come and they would fight each other and chomp?
It was ahead of its time, but that same technology was creating a robot. It was ahead of its time.
It's dumb.
It was ahead of its time.
It's dumb.
It was ahead of its time.
It was the worst thing I've ever saw. They put these robots basically on tripods, and it just had moving arms and it moved
no, it wasn't like that.
It moved
What I'm saying is the things like, okay, the number one industry, like export industry in the country, is the entertainment industry.
That's true.
And the entertainment industry isn't going to change, and the sports industry isn't going to change. You're going to have athletes, you're going to have actors, you're going to have movies, you're going to have trailers. I don't see...
Most movies are done by CGI.
You're going to need actors, you're going to need directors, you're going to need...
I've already heard about them talking about programming AI bots in there to be actors.
It's never gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, all right.
They've already been talking
I'm not
about
gonna
it.
get. This is gonna be a long drawn out. I'm not even gonna go into that. There's no way.
Now, when
that's Johnny Five hanging from the side of that airplane like Tom Cruise did.
They said that they're developing software basically that makes decisions and things like that, and even to the point where they're even discussing the point where wouldn't the robots want to get paid?
Okay. You know what?
It's weird. It's weird. It's like it's weird for most people to realize how far this. I told you.
Do you guys do stocks?
It's not. Nobody is going to watch him. Okay. All right. We're not. I don't want to get into the whole.
No.
Okay.
Do you do stocks? Anybody follow stock market?
I used to.
You okay?
I don't. I haven't.
There's no need for a stockbroker anymore.
Oh no! All that stuff's because that's statistics.
Right.
Those statistics can be done by computers.
Right, but the whole New York Stock Exchange is a
facts,
studio.
You know.
But look at how many. But look at way back when stockbrokers were the guy. You were the man. You got all.
Back
everything.
in the 80s, that was a big thing.
But look how 20 years has look how 20 years. I was.
People aren't going to pay to see robots in movies. They're not. They're not. If the whole movie is a bunch of robots,
what was
C3PO? Fucking terrible.
What was CP3O?
What was R2D2?
One
Terminator.
Okay, so you can have. They don't hold the movie together like the actors do. You put those things with humans to get.
How about this?
And in all those movies,
how about WALL-E?
They make those robots. And a lot of the ideas in those movies are those robots wanting to be, or how human are they? Like C-3PO, knowing all the languages and stuff. It's all factual stuff.
Yeah, but
they're not asking C-3PO, what should we do? Should we go in a trench run and blast the missiles in the middle of the Death Star? Or should we? They don't ask him those things.
But in the Star Wars movie, they always view machines as. Well, Star Wars is a racist and sexist movie.
Well, look, we're gonna have another podcast in 20 years, and we're gonna see what movies are like then, because I guarantee you, there's not gonna be robots in them.
I'm telling you,
as the main actors, the part of the movie.
Sonny in iRobot. Come on.
You're not gonna want to see a movie with 7 or 10 fucking Sonnies in it. You're not.
And what about WALL-E?
Sonny 1, Sonny 2. This is Emily's Sonny. This is
WALL-E.
What? But that's a movie.
But it was based upon a robot, and even though it had this cartoonish part.
There are on average 5,000 movies that come out of the entertainment industries a year. I am not going to want to watch 5,000 WALL-Es. I'm not. Put WALL-E in an island.
What about
put WALL-E on a pirate ship?
I can give you something closer to that. Short Circuit, Johnny Five.
But the movie was based on a human creating the robot, and the robot trying to be human. You still had.
I say it'll do good only because Hollywood's making the same movies over and over. So the fact that it'll be something different will be enough to sell people.
I think maybe they'll be able to do it a couple times, but it's not going to take over the entertainment industry.
I mean, it's already. I mean, I think okay. If we really look at it,
well, let's go with music. Most of your music is done by machines anyway. Auto-tune, all your sampling.
But music isn't a visual medium. It's not a visual medium.
Okay, let's look at we can go into anime. Think about
anime. It's still you go in knowing ahead of time that what you're looking at is not reality. If you you're going to take like an apocalypse movie, a movie about the end of the world, and you're going to have nothing in the entire movie but robots talking to each other about losing family, and it's not going to have any weight to it. It's not going to work.
Actually sounds like
that would be.
It would be good maybe one time, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to do over and over.
Terminator movies we had.
But they're based on the robots interacting with humans.
But at some point in time, it's always the robots, no matter how. The point of Terminator was it's inevitable that machines are going to not necessarily take us over.
And it was about an apocalyptic war. They were menacing. They destroyed.
Okay, let's be honest though. You're not going to run your economy
off a robot.
Off of entertainment.
You're not.
There is no such thing.
I was just bringing that up as I feel like I'm reaching here to find the last bastion of something that you can hold on to.
The last hope for humanity.
Yeah. I'm trying to be the last hope for humanity here. I'm reaching. I'm reaching.
But the thing about it is, you know what? It's okay if they do take over. In my opinion, it gives us room to innovate. I mean, let's think about
it. Gives us room to eat junk food and get fat.
Not necessarily. I think it will force people to actually do more good.
because you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like, what am I doing? What am I? Why
am I here? You will find something
the thing
to
is,
do.
you'll find something to do, but like you were saying before, how are you going to do it if you're not making any money?
But, I can easily fix that for you. You ever heard of a basic income?
Here we go. Yeah, you told me about this one. Give people money just because they're human, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the way things are going. If everything is going to be automated, the economy still has to spin. The rich want to stay rich, so they have to. And the government. So the government would have to find a way to make it so people can get money. Now,
I have to give the rich more money because they're going to need to be in charge of their companies that make the products that we want to buy, and they're going to have to make products. They're going to have to find a way to level the economy out so that if we all get a set amount of money every month or week or whatever, we're going to have to. They're going to need us to use their technology.
Yeah.
These big businesses, they're going to need us to use their technology. So, are things going to get cheaper, or are we going to get more money?
I mean, the thing about it is, the government is basically the basic income is a conditional stipend that we're going to receive from the government, basically, just based on because you're human.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the biggest problem I do see with that is trying to stimulate growth and not have it turn into a socialist society where no one wants to rise to the top because everyone gets paid. So the way they can probably further stimulate is based on okay, with your stipend, you're allowed to buy this many credits on this robot, and then you get paid extra according to the production.
Or everybody could take it. Or they could have a standardized test where everybody takes a test, and maybe I don't know if it's kind of prejudicial, but depending on how smart they are or how they get their
well, what happens
amount changes?
What happens if I'm a bad test taker?
Then you don't get paid a lot.
Then I don't get paid nothing. I could be smart. I just take tests bad.
Well, if it's the future and they have these great technology everybody's talking about in robots, they'll be able to find another way where you don't have to worry about taking a test. They can just sit in the room with you for an hour, and the robots can figure out what you're like.
But that still doesn't mean that your brain doesn't process that test well. I mean, test doesn't even prove you're smart anyway. It just proves that you take tests well.
No, let's go with the theory that robots do become that does happen. Now, I would say that the average person would say, I don't want to go to work today. I'd rather be doing this. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
The average person would say, I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to go to school today.
I'd say that every day. I would be like, I don't just want to play this. I want to play this game. I'm
so
going to do
the
this.
fact that you will be able to have the freedom to do those things is enough for what I would say will be, for some people, will be enough. I don't want to go work 40 hours. I want to go on vacation. I can. The fact that people can say, I don't have to do this if I don't want to do this.
But are they going to make things
how about
accessible?
this? I want to see the world.
Are they going to make things that accessible? I mean,
well, think about it.
They give you this basic was it base income?
A basic income.
They give you this basic income. I think it could get hectic. I think that people, everybody will want to travel. Everybody's going to want to,
But that would help stimulate the economy because you have people still spending money.
But how are you stimulating the economy if it's
for
a set amount that everybody's getting and you're not putting in?
I'm gonna point at all. I'm gonna point at the holes. And then I'm gonna give you the positives too. Okay. Big hole for me. Yeah, it's definitely stimulating.
Is that the Indominus Rex?
Yeah. No, this is T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
I'm wearing a Dress Park shirt for people who can't see.
I got a Beatles one. Kids in my house,
Nobody wants. No one.
I got a white T-shirt on.
No one cares.
It's special.
But I'm gonna point to it. Let me say it to you again. So, again, the biggest problem is stimulating growth because you say everybody's getting a set amount. Well,
yeah.
I'm getting back to again. We need people to own the land. We need people to own the building. We need people to own the resources. We need somebody basically, like I say, you depending upon your income, you own a certain amount of bots, and then you're paid for on your bots according for how many bots.
Like say if you have 5 bots that work for a company or something, and you get a percentage of that.
Yeah, you get a percentage.
Are you saying everybody gets bots?
Everybody, I think the government should issue out each person like a starter bot. Everybody gets one bot.
When do they get bots? When they're born, or do they get them at a certain age? Like,
I think
how's it going to work? How do you think?
I think maybe as they get to a certain age. So like maybe after you finish high school.
That's fair.
You know, or after you finish college.
And maybe they could go to high school to learn how to invest their bots.
And how to invest it.
You know what I mean? Where they're going to place them.
Yeah.
Or try to place them. Like let's like having like 4 or 5 of your own little kids and trying to give them good jobs.
Right.
And it teaches you good management skills.
Mm-hmm. And you teach you good management skills for doing nothing for the rest of your life.
As long as your bot remains productive.
What if you have a bunch of slack ass bots? They don't want to work. They sit around smoking and playing video games all day.
We smoke and play video games with them.
But then you got that safety net of that thing from
the basic income.
Yeah, the basic income.
So everybody will get a basic income and then bots.
Yeah, to manage.
Okay.
And that way you can barter and trade your bots. Say, hey, I got this many bots doing this many bots here, and I'll trade it to this one. And they can also put a law in.
Drug addicts will just sell their bots for drugs.
Well,
I got these 4 bots, man.
but then I also think they should probably put in a law to limit how many you can
like
trade.
Have a certain license to the serial numbers that are attached to you and only you.
Yeah, and limit how many you can trade in a year, or limit how many that you can have. Period, because you never want to get to a point where you have a monopoly.
But then your economy could be based all on bots. You wouldn't, money would be just.
It's not just based on bots, because remember, you still got to own the land that it's on. One thing about real estate.
How do you own the land? How do you get to own the land? Like, how does that process happen?
I mean, like it does now. You basically see a property up for sale, you buy the property.
But if everybody's getting the same basic income, how's that going to happen?
The productivity with the bots again.
Or how much money you save. I mean, I would say.
I understand what you're saying. I just think it may get a little.
It's going to get. It's definitely going to be complicated because we are now rewriting the economy. But what I think is having a basic income gets rid of what? The homeless people.
Yes.
It will definitely cut back on people.
But if it won't get rid of the homeless people, because if the homeless people are living somewhere and they have to use that basic income to live, who's to say they won't use it on drugs and end up homeless again every month just spending their basic income on drugs?
You know what? You have to look at it as a case-by-case basis. You get what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is that it's still provided for them, and
it still would be better than
and then one of the main motivations for you using drugs sometimes is what? I don't have a place to live.
Depression.
I'm depressed. I need to get this. I need to get this fixed. So I can forget about it. Well, you just eliminated that. That also will do something else to our crime numbers, because one of the big motivations for crime
is poverty.
It's poverty and drug use.
I'm just saying the box would be like stock. It'd be like an investment.
That's what I see it happening too, like that.
Remember the cartoon BattleBots?
I don't know.
Oh, you too. Okay. We had the show called BattleBots, so like kids can buy their own robot, put it together, and stuff like that, and make them fight.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah,
right.
Go.
That would be the new sport. But that would be the new sport. I mean,
I can see that.
But that would show you that
we're talking way in the future.
We're talking way in the future, but the fact that it's the idea is presenting itself and the technology that we're seeing that it's a possibility will show you that new opportunities, like for people who go without, can learn about robotics and computer programming. These things will become available to those who have not. So just now it's just about what you know or who you know and the information given to you, which is a good reason for this show, because now the people who don't know do know. So now they can see, maybe I can try this career field. Maybe see how it goes. But no matter what, the fact is, machines are here. They're here. They're in your face. Your phone, your smartphone, is a.
It follows me to the bathroom at night.
Is that?
I turn around and I see it creeping around the corner, looking in.
It's an artificial intelligence. It's a lower form of artificial
You getting
intelligence.
phone stalked?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Remember the commercial with the guy who's dating his iPhone? It was like his girlfriend.
Oh, the movie Her. That is an excellent movie.
I haven't seen it yet with Joaquin Phoenix.
Never seen it either.
Wow.
With
Well, I ain't
Joaquin
gonna ruin it
Phoenix.
for you guys,
Don't ruin it.
but let me tell you, that is another great example.
I
of you
heard it
saying,
was a good movie.
If you talk, I've seen the movie. If you want to talk about someone actually having a relationship
Star
and
Trek.
being able to talk to a psychologist about your problems, watch that movie Her.
Okay. I'll watch
Because
it. I'm going to make a note that I'm going to definitely watch
need
it.
to watch that one here. We can
Star Trek also provide another example.
Star Trek.
Data.
I forgot the name of one.
Data.
Yeah, that was
Long
the
and
one.
prosper.
Yeah. Prime example. Fall in love with the machine. Prime example. And again, with most people, with relationships, it's not about necessarily who is where you get that emotional stimulus from.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a living, breathing person. I mean, look, we got sex toys. I told you I wanted to fuck Master 5000.
We
Look,
do.
The Sex Master 5000 has many features.
You know, but I mean,
But the fact that that machines can replace sex says a lot.
Well, that's a very, basic
not
thing.
replace
All you
it
got to do is
completely.
get off. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
as long as it
you
does
ever
the trick.
You ever watch that weird show on TLC? Like I think it's like Weird Sex or something. Yeah, I swear to goodness, I watched this dude talk about he's only attracted to cars.
That's just, what?
Yeah. He's only attracted to cars, and I swear to you, I was just like, what? He's attracted to cars.
Well, whatever I do, I wouldn't pump gas for that guy, I'll tell you that.
And he talks about, and he kisses on the car. And he talks about he's made love to the car.
Added a little extra mileage on it.
It was one of those classic cars. I don't know the name.
So he was in the MILFs.
Yeah, pretty much. He was a MILF lover.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody, that's a good MILF.
You gotta watch out for the guy that falls in love with his hybrid.
Oh man.
It's shockingly good.
Oh wow. Well, where have we gone?
Well, at least we wrapping up on a good note, right?
Yeah, we're definitely wrapping up on a good note. So check this out. This is where you can find us. Facebook.com/AskLearnQuestion. We have lots of topics that we can talk about, we can laugh about. You know, in the future episodes, we're going to add more. We're going to do movie reviews. I'll have to learn how to talk because this is going to be my, career.
Game reviews,
definitely. We're going to have what we call it, what is the game version. That's going to be interesting. I ain't even going to tell you guys about that, but, it's a lot cleaner than what it sounds.
what it sounds like.
Or dirtier. I don't know.
And they can leave comments.
Yeah,
Comments under the video.
Leave comments on everything.
Tell us what you want to watch, want to see.
All right.
Hear.
Yep. Anything interesting, anything on your mind, anything we can do better, I'm pretty sure we're going to get those anyway.
We will.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the words of Kim Jong-il, they hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Actually, that movie was kind of fun. I actually why they didn't want it out, but it was pretty funny.
That was a great movie.
Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Same thing, Ask Learn Question. Our Twitter page is Ask Learn Question. The whole thing is basically Ask Learn Question. You can't go wrong with that. All right. Thank you for listening to us. We'll catch you guys next time.